Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through the basic intro screen, I'm going to go back to the home screen. And in the home screen, and I didn't mention this before, but I was like, it'll have information about what's due, what's coming up. It'll show over here. Um, of course, my view looks a little different than yours. The student view is what you'll be seeing, but it looks very similar. Uh, so this is just kind of like the welcome page screen. Once you go into the modules and you click on the module here, as I said, and everything is laid out in here, the first thing you'll see is like there's a welcome video, right? So the videos that the things in the introductory videos that you're going to be looking at right now will all be in here. You only see one listed on here now, but there'll be multiples by the time that you see this and get access to it. And basically, you are required to watch all of them before you proceed down through the modules. There's also the syllabus is laid out for you in here. There's also the textbook, and textbook info is here. And I'm going to go through a general overview, then I'll go back with some of the details. There's also PowerPoints for every chapter that are laid out in here. There are visuals, and these are basically ancillaries to the chapter, the PowerPoints that you can utilize. And again, I'll show you some of those. There's videos, chapter videos, and I'm still working on some of these. But basically, when you go in the chapter, each chapter has video requirements you have to watch. Most of them are like, you pick one or two. There's only like one or two at most. There's only one chapter that has more than that. But I will, again, lay that out for you in greater detail. One of the other fun things in here I put in is called the newsroom. And the newsroom is basically a variety of media sources, mostly online media sources, for various news. The Economist, one of the greatest online magazines for knowing what's going on around the world. PBS NewsHour, BBC, which is out of England. So as the Economist is also based out of England. And just a variety of news sources that I think are pretty nonpartisan and try to give more of a fair, balanced view of the world. And that's why I put them in there. Again, part of my job is not to sell you on being a liberal or conservative. I'm not remotely interested in doing that. Just for you to think for yourself what it means to be one or the other. Most people don't have a clue about what it means to be one or the other. So throughout the class, I guarantee you're going to learn and develop what that is. And, even if it's relevant anymore, most people are deciding to be nonpartisan, meaning they're deciding not to be affiliated with either political party and deciding to do things on their own. So you may decide the same thing if that's what you want. The video assignments, again, I'll go into a little more detail about those in a minute here as we get into the modules. And I just want to share with you down below there is where we're getting started. And this is basically where the course begins. And in here, you'll find a variety of different things that you have to walk through step by step before you get to and can access the weekly chapters. So you can't get to chapter 1 and do the work in chapter 1, the discussions and the quizzes, until after you finish doing the orientation, the first getting started orientation module. So it's important that you follow step by step through the process. And then from there is broken down week by week. You'll see week 1, I put the dates in there, and the first chapter deals with politics of citizenship. And basically you go through here, you'll go through and you'll look at all the nuances and details of the things that are required for week 1. Then for week 2, for week 1, I try to make it only have basically one chapter. Most times you'll have 2 chapters a week, but week 1, I basically, because you have the introductory stuff to get through, you need time to get your book and all those things. So I try to be a little more lenient in the first week. By week 2, we get into chapter 2 and 3. We're zooming along pretty good. Chapter 3 particularly is very important to me, and there's several videos in here that I'm requiring you to watch because they're relevant and important. So the videos that are going to be in chapter 3, when I put them in there, I will expect you to watch and utilize them fully. And this layout is the same. So week 3, you can see here, week 3 covers chapters 4, 5, and 6. And then the format and layout is always the same. You'll see the learning objectives, you'll see the ebook, the PowerPoints, the flashcards, and the flashcards are for you to utilize. They link out to a study site for all students, and I'll click in there in a little bit too and show you the details of that. You'll also have your weekly quiz for every chapter. There are 20 questions, each one worth a point, and there are 10 of them, so the total is combined for 200 points. You get one shot at it. You get 40 minutes to do the quizzes. And then also there's a discussion that's required every week. And this is basically where you will chat with your other classmates about the question that is posed for that week, and be able to basically, you'll basically post your opinion, and then you'll also respond to either someone who's responded or countered your opinion, or you'll respond to two other classmates and their what they wrote or how they felt about the issue. My purpose is to make sure that you show that you have done some sort of critical thinking about that issue and how you feel about it. And what I'm looking for is, probably a good 2-paragraph, or at least one solid big giant paragraph or a couple of paragraphs response on each of the topics that are here. That will show me that you've taken some time to think about it. The students who score low on these are those who put like 1 or 2 lines or a sentence and don't show any reflective thought about how they really view the issue of the question that is posed for this particular chapter. Okay, so basically, as you can see, the format is the same throughout, all the way from beginning to end. So when we get to the end, and the end is here, week 10, which is the ending of February 6th, we finish with chapter 10, and then you'll be done with the class. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go back and talk about some of the details and nuances. So again, I have the syllabus listed here, but I also have it listed down here in the step-by-step. I do that purposely because some people want to kind of browse the syllabus even before you get into the weekly assignments and to get into the modules in detail. So all you have to do literally when you're coming in here, and the same, by the way, applies for the textbook. So if you click on the syllabus, it takes you to, and you have access to it both in here, in Canvas, and you can also download it if you so choose, into your home computer. And what happens here is it lays out the entire semester for you. All the information is laid out here. Office hours to be announced, because I give you the virtual office hour times, but I can also meet other times. So just email me that you want to talk, and then I'll arrange time, or I'll pass my phone number on to you, and you can reach out to me. This is my office phone number, but what I'll do if you need to talk to me directly, since I'm not in the office most of the winter, I will provide you my cell phone number to reach out to me. Okay. All right. So also in here, you'll find the course description. As always, you'll see that in your syllabus. The objectives. My goal is basically have you come out with a better understanding of American government and what its nuances and why it's important we understand what politics are and what democracy is and what happens when we don't participate. If we choose not to vote or be active, the things that happen as a result of that ultimately may hurt us, we are directly responsible for. Remember, democracy is about us, the people, not the government, because the government can't exist without us, and we can't let them. We have to stop thinking that if we serve them, they're supposed to serve our interests, not the other way around. So you'll find in here the course materials. Of course, here's the book and any additional resources. There is a student site that I'll share with you here in a moment. Of course, technology. You will need to have a laptop of some sort. I know some of you like to work on your phones. I don't recommend it. I think there's just some things that are missing on the phones that make it almost impossible to do that kind of work. But including killing your eyeballs, but if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. Okay. Weekly assignments, of course, like I said before, you'll have to read the chapter, review the study site if you need to. Again, I can't make you use it, but it's a good resource to be able to help build your base of knowledge, as are also the chapter PowerPoints. You'll watch the chapter videos, take the quizzes, and again, the last quizzes are due no later than 11 o'clock on February 6th because I have to get grades in right away. And then you have to write your weekly discussions, as well as, again, you have to write. One thing is missing from here, which I will add in, which I don't know how I missed it. I will add in the video assignments you have to do. You have to do those 4 video critiques, and I will add that in there. But that's not a weekly assignment. That's actually a separate item. Grades, as you can see here, total for the class is 500 points. There's 200 points in quizzes, 200 points in discussions, and 100 points in video critiques. There's 4 of those. They're short, no more than a page, critiques of the videos. Of all the videos you watch, you get to pick 4 of them to write on and to write a short critique on, and its association relevant to the chapter. Here's the grade breakdown, so you can see that as well. That's laid out in here. Uh, and the rest of it's just a little iteration about the discussions, the video critiques, and the quizzes. And the rest is just stuff you can look at it yourself regarding like attendance policy. Of course, there is no attendance policy since we're online. Uh, None of the etiquette matters. There is an etiquette though, so you have to make sure you're always respectful to your classmates and no cyberbullying, that kind of stuff. That won't be tolerated. So please don't go there. You have a right to your opinion as they have a right to theirs, and we have to always be able to respect those rights. If you're a student with disabilities, make sure you get to get contact with our DSPS service. Their phone numbers listed there. And be able to discuss if you need me to provide additional time for exams and testing. They will send me information based on your information. Do that ASAP. That way I can take care in changing the times and requirements for you if you have additional time requirements or if you need different testing help. I need to know that ASAP. So please do take care of that immediately. Counseling services are available as well. Rights and responsibilities are laid out in the catalog. Then below here is basically laid out again the course line for the winter session. Same thing that's it's basically the same layout that happens in the module is laid out here. So that's the thing I want you to see, and that's basically the syllabus. Please do go through it because you are held responsible for it, and anything that's in here you are held accountable for. Okay? All right. So after that, let me go back in here again. And the next thing I want to share with you as we go down the line here is the textbook. So the textbook information is laid out here. I know I gave you a bit of information about it in the intro. The first intro just talks a little bit more about it in detail. So it's here for you right now. You can jump in there and get it and read about it. If you want to get the book online, you can go here and get the ebook. And I can show you here, for example, if you go in here and you want to purchase an ebook version of it, you can click right here. And when you click there, it takes you to another site called Vital Source. And you can see here that for a 90-day use, and that's the shortest you can get, but you can see it's $22.32 to get the ebook version of the book. Okay? So that makes it easy for you. For those who like to do stuff on the computer, that's a fast, easy way to be able to do it. Okay. So now let me go back to the module again, and I'll keep bouncing in and out. I'm going to stop here in a minute, I think, and before we get too far ahead, and give you a moment to catch your breath. But I will share with you quickly, before I do get to the weekly modules, the chapter PowerPoints. And what happens here, for every chapter, there are PowerPoints that are laid out for you. And when you click it in, you can actually go in here and you can see them. You can see them right in here. So in case you don't have PowerPoint, you can see each chapter is laid out in here for you. And basically it's a chapter overview, right? That's what a module is. But it lays out like what politics is and some of the basic information that you need for each chapter. Okay, and they're all basically set up the same way. So there's 10 of those that are laid out in here for you. And then again, all you do is click the little down arrow there, and then it opens it up, and you can see all the PowerPoints. I keep them closed so I don't have to scroll so far most of the time. The visuals, as I said before, these are just additional to the PowerPoints. There's one for every chapter. So if you click in here, for example, and like I was giving an example of what one looks like, it just lays out, like when I talk about democracy and I'm talking about various types of systems, what anarchy is, what authoritarian is, what the relationship between individuals, us as citizens versus those who rule over us. And in fact, I would say the core of this book has to do a lot with citizenship and our recognition of our roles as citizens in the political system. And since everything in our life is political, our ability to be able to dictate what the government does and our responsibility in that is what makes our democracy special. Okay, so that's what they look like. Just more visuals for you to be able to sort of associate with what's going on in each and every chapter. And then again, I told you about the newsroom, and these are just links out to various news sites. So for example, The Economist, you click here, it takes you to The Economist website. You can learn about United States government stuff, what's going on. You can subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. You can come in directly and under topics. You can look under various aspects here. You can look under various countries if you want to look at different countries or what's going on. It is really I would highly recommend this, even if you weren't in my class, to keep up and understand what's going on in the world. It's an outstanding resource. Okay. And again, there's tons of those in here. So you go through the newsroom, you'll see there's lots of different things to be able to get information from. And then, of course, the video critiques, as I've said, these basically are video assignments. So basically what happens here, you'll go in and it gives you a little spiel about what you have to do. So, and they're basically 1 page max. Yes, you have to be careful about plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big issue. So as you go to respond or write, or once you see a video that you're interested in or that you felt strongly about or that touched you, you want to write about it, do it in 1 page and then you submit it here. Your site, there'll be a box there. All you'll do is copy and paste. For example, you could type it up in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, highlight it, copy and paste it in here, and then it will even tell you ahead of time how much of your paper is plagiarized. Now, I will tell you, don't panic about plagiarism, okay, to a certain degree, because it's almost impossible that most things that people write have been said by someone else at some point. So what you want to do here is try and keep it under 20% plagiarism. Anything over 20%, it starts to whittle at your grade a little bit, and if you get 50% or more, you'll be in you won't be getting a very good grade for that particular. Because what I'm looking for here is for your insight, what you thought about, what touched you about the video you saw, and this can be done in 2 or 3 paragraphs at most, but no more than a page, please. Okay. And there's 4 of those you have to do throughout, and you can pick whatever videos you want from any of the chapters you want. I would say try to diversify. So even if you find 2 or 3 videos from one chapter that really capture you, try and pick no more than, I would say, no more than 2 at any one chapter, if possible. Okay. All right. Now let me jump into the next thing here. We get to week 1. This is where I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and discuss week 1 and go through the full week 1 to step by step. All right. See you in a sec.